Welcome to Mindset Mondays, where we empower contractors like you with the tools, systems, and frameworks, not just to succeed in business, but in life as well. Join us as we explore the strategies that will elevate your work, insights that will clear your path, and stories that will inspire your journey. Because here, it's about more than just the build. It's about crafting a legacy.
All right, we are back. Welcome to another episode of Growth Mindset Monday. I'm your host, Eric Bake. American Contractor Network here in collaboration with Contractor Plus, the only CRM you will ever need to grow and scale your contracting business. It's another beautiful Monday. I'll tell you, this weekend was kind of fun. Justin and I were talking prior to the show. The sun is shining. It's out there. In fact, you can see here a little bit. I got a little bit of what they like to call a farmer's tan right there. Yep. Managed not to burn, which was a good thing, but I got some sunshine. My son was in the state track meet at the university down the street here. Man, what an event. I'll tell you, these high school kids, they're not built like they used to, man. I remember when I was in high school and then we weren't running that fast. I'll just give you one example. My son doesn't run the mile, but they were running the mile, and the boys mile, right? The winner ran in 4 minutes and 1 second, just shy of breaking 4 minutes in high school. Crazy, right? Anyway, super fun event. Great to be out there supporting the kids, getting a little sunshine on the skin. We got a few folks joining us live. If you're here live, go ahead and drop your name, drop your business, drop where you're from so we can give you a shout out. We got Ground Fog. Thanks for showing up every single week. He's here with us with the hand wave. Emilio Rosas as well with the pink hand wave, like that. Bradley Breedlove, hello. Welcome to the show. B&D Roofing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, if you are watching us live on any one of our channels, go ahead and drop a comment. We'll be sure to shout you out. Why? Because we love you. Well, I was talking to Justin a little bit about his weekend, right? Some of the things that he was doing, and he was asking me, and it was really interesting because every weekend for me is slightly different, right? Most of the time I spend it with family and, reset, recharge and whatnot. Sometimes a little work creeps in. Let's just be real. It happens to all of us. But this weekend, for some reason, I kept getting messages about one thing and one thing only. And that was, hey, can you help me get more leads? Or some variation of that. Hey, do you provide leads? Hey, do you sell leads? Hey, do you know where I can buy leads? Leads, 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 leads. We got Ricardo from RM Landworks and Hardscaping. Welcome to the show. Leads, 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 leads. And here's this funny thing about leads, right? I don't care what you do for work. You could be a contractor. You could be a plumber. You could be a nail salon. You could be a mortgage company. What makes this world go around is leads. Leads convert to your estimates, proposals, bids, and they convert to your sales. And we all know without sales, you don't have a business. Art Hoffman, welcome to the show. That's the hard truth, right? Now, when you start off in business, though, nobody tells you this, right? You get the pats on the backs, you get the social media shout outs where people are like, hey, Art, you do some really good work. Have you ever thought about owning your own company? And you're like, wow, I never thought about it. That'd be really cool. And then somebody else says it, and then somebody else. And then finally you're like, hey, you know what? I should probably do this thing. And you go out on your own and somehow expect the leads to come falling from the sky. Or you can go down to your local Home Depot to the nursery section and wheel out your very own lead tree. They sell them there. $99.99. You can have your own. It doesn't happen that way. We got Edward with All the Works. Welcome to the show. It doesn't happen that way, right? We all wish it did. I would love to wake up every morning and open my computer and have an inbox full of leads and have people knocking at my door saying, please, please help me. We all would. It doesn't work that way, right? And if we know it doesn't work that way, why do we keep pretending that it does? Pause for dramatic effect. We all like to pretend that business is easier than it really is. And I'll tell you right now, it doesn't matter if you just started off last week or if you've been in the business 20 years. The thing you need to focus on every single day is how am I generating consistent and ultimately more profitable leads? That's it, right? That's the game. Don't believe me? Fine. You won't be in business very long. Just calling it like it is. And I'll tell you this. I have a good friend of mine, Tim. One of these days, I'm sure you'll meet Tim. Tim is a third generation owner of his company. They do rain gutters and exteriors. Tim last year generated $15 million in revenue. His target this year is pushing to 20. Guess what Tim and I talk about all the time? Oh, that's right. Leads and generating leads. Now, his process for generating leads is a little more complicated and robust than yours probably is. But regardless, Tim, a man who spends, if I remember right, a day a month in the office, doesn't mean he doesn't work in his business, but he spends a day a month in his office. Every single week is still focused on leads, generating high quality leads, generating opportunities for salespeople to close to generate more revenue. And so if he's doing that and his target's 20 million, what should you be doing? Tommy Mello, great guy out of Arizona, owns a company called A Plus Garage Doors. He's now franchised his model. It's a $200 million company. What do you think number one on his list is? It's not what the wrap on the side of his truck looks like. It's not about what the latest technology in garage doors is. It is leads. Leads. How am I getting in front of the right people, offering them the right product or service, and getting them to say yes? Okay. So today, I want to share with you guys some of these top strategies that you should be using. Now, again, for some of you, you're newer in the game, and I get this. And there's only a couple of these that are going to apply. For some of you, you've been in this game a while, and you've been scared, or you've been burned, or you've had a bad experience. That doesn't mean that the method that I'm going to show you doesn't work. It does. You just have to find the way to make it work. We got Googly Boogly. Welcome to the show. Man, how do they make those pink hands? Must be a YouTube thing. Well, welcome to the show. We got Ty Story with Story Construction. Welcome, my man. All right. Let's talk about leads and generating leads. Now, if you remember in the conversations that we've had here before, we talk a lot about what? We talk a lot about marketing, right? And marketing is the lifeblood of your business. We got Daniel and we got Googly Boogly, threw his name down, all in one remodel and more. Thank you. And then we got Daniel Kappen, looks like. Hi, welcome for you as well. So we're talking about marketing, right? What is marketing? Marketing is getting people's attention. Now, I have a good friend of mine. His name's Russ Perry. He actually owns a graphic design company out of Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona. I've known Russ for many years. When I first met him, he was doing about $50K a month. His company just got valued at $125 million. Russ, for marketing, 2017, this was one of his strategies. He would go to big conferences and he would dress up like a pickle. You got it. The entire outfit like a pickle. And he would dance around and he would hand out flyers and he would hand out discounts and he would hand out different things to get people's attention. His company was called Design Pickle, by the way, right? His graphic design company was called Design Pickle. And so he dressed up like a pickle. And then he had a cart and he would push this cart around and he would hand out pickles. Like that was the thing, right? Getting people's attention. That's what he did. And so you ask him, how did I build a company valued at $120 million? Marketing, right? I focused on generating leads. But how do we generate leads? Daniel's with Noble Custom Glass and Mirror in Atlanta, and we got Barry Sharp with RSR Remodeling and Maintenance. How are you, my man? So how do we generate leads? Well, I'm going to give you the top 7 strategies for generating leads. But before I do, I want to give you some other statistics, okay? And these statistics matter. They matter because most people don't pay attention to them, okay? Now, is a lead worth something? Absolutely. Every lead is worth something. But here's the truth. Did you know 50% of businesses do not follow up with their leads? Let me repeat that. 50% of businesses do not follow up with their leads, meaning somebody calls, they text, they message, they email, they stop by your booth, 50% of businesses do not follow up with their leads. Which 50% are you? Here we go. Next one. 97% of people ignore cold calls. 97% of people ignore cold calls. Now, listen, I'm not saying cold calling doesn't work, but if you've tried cold calling, you know it's a numbers game. And there's a reason why. Literally right now while we're talking, I got a phone number or phone call from a 207. I don't even know who the hell it is, right? I'm ignoring it. Why? I don't know who you are. You probably got something to sell me. But because I don't know who you are, I don't care. Okay? Let me give you another statistic that's going to blow your mind. 97% of companies spend less than $1,000 a month on marketing. 97% of companies spend less than $1,000 a month on marketing. Now, I'm not one to tell you that you should be spending money. In fact, you should have your marketing strategy dialed in organically, meaning not paid, before you ever go to paid. But that being said, 97% of companies spend less than $1,000. So you can get pissed off at one of your competitors that you're scrolling through social media and you see their ad. You can get pissed at them, but the fact is they're doing it and you're not. Right? It's the reality of the situation. So what should you be doing? For some of you, again, this will be a refresher. For some of you, this will be an eye-opener. Number one on the list. Number one on the list. I don't care if you have 10 past clients or if you have 10,000 past clients. Referrals. Number one is referrals. Now, if I asked you out of your last 10 jobs, how many of those are referrals? Some of you would say 10 because you're small. Some of you said 0 because you don't ask for them. So what should you be doing and what should you not be doing? Well, I'll tell you this, okay? Just because you finish a job doesn't mean that you should be asking for a referral. Why? Because you haven't guaranteed that you have a satisfied client that you're asking a referral for or from. Think about that for a minute. Why would I want to give you a referral if I'm not satisfied with the job that you did? So the first thing you got to do is do a good job, right? Whatever your product or service is, do a good job. That's number one, okay? Number two, when someone gives you a referral, you should follow up with that referral immediately. Immediately. Not next week, not next month, not add it to the list of people you need to follow up with that you never follow up with. Immediately. Now, there's a very specific way that I like to do this, okay? So the right way to ask for referrals. The first one, if they're a satisfied customer, you should have 100% satisfied customers. If they're satisfied customers, at the end of your project, ask them, hey, Mrs. Jones, thank you so much for letting me serve you. How was it working with us? Oh, it was great. It was amazing. You guys were awesome, blah, 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 whatever. That's great. Mrs. Jones, we're actively working to grow our business right now, and we would love to be able to serve more of the people that you know that you believe would find value in insert product service. Who do you know that could use our product service? Right? Now you got a name. Now, what should you do with that name? Well, hey, Mrs. Jones, would you mind introducing me via text message to Mrs. Smith, Mr. Jones, whoever, right? A 3-way text message, and you're off to the races. Art, thanks for being honest there. I'm a one-person company at Woodworks, and I miss a lot of clients. Totally get it. We're going to talk about some of those strategies, but thank you for being honest about that. Okay? So leverage the pieces that are in front of you, okay? Technology, a cell phone. How long have we had cell phones? A long time. I just talked about not answering a number that you don't recognize. So how do you get to somebody that you don't know? You get introduced to that person. I do this all the time. So if someone gives you a referral, say thank you, and then ask them to introduce you via 3-way text. And all they got to say is, hey, John, I want you to meet my painter, plumber, electrician, whoever They just got done doing some really good work on my house. I know you were asking about it. That's it. Something super simple. And then you take it over from there. Your job is to get in front of them. Okay. So referrals. The second thing with referrals, follow up. The fortune is in the follow-up. There's a reason that's such a strong statement. Is because sometimes people are ready right away and sometimes they're not. I followed up with people for an entire year before they finally decided to do business with me. And you're not willing to follow up 2 or 3 times? Again, it's not that the work isn't there. It's just not you're willing to look for it. Okay. And the third piece is some type of referral program. You can offer incentives, bonuses, so on and so forth. There's a roofer I work with out of Pennsylvania. Guess what? He's got a referral program for everybody that refers a client over. He offers them, I forget what it is, depending on the job, anywhere between $250 and $500. Who wouldn't want an extra $250 or $500? Everybody would. Okay. And you're like, I can't afford it. Tack it on your price. Then you can afford it. Right? We're not asking you to give your business away. Does this make sense? Referrals. Okay. Number 2, leveraging your online reviews and testimonials. How many of you guys have, 1, a website, and 2, a Google My Business profile? How many of you guys have reviews where people hear about you and can go Google you? See, these work in conjunction. Because anytime somebody gets referred to me, what's the first thing I go do? Yeah, you got it. Google them. You don't believe me? When's the last time you shopped at Amazon? It didn't go down into the reviews. It's 2024. Okay. You can talk about how awesome you are, or other people can talk about how awesome you are. I'm going to tell you, you're going to close way more business when other people talk about how awesome you are. And you can incentivize them. Hey, Mr. Jones, when we're done with this job, I will offer you a $50 discount if you're willing to give us a video testimonial. Yeah, absolutely. Love to do it. Grab that video testimonial, throw it on your website. Again, real person, real customer talking about you and your business. If you're not doing it, you should. Okay. Now, there's wrong ways to do this. Can you generate a whole ton of fake reviews? Yes. And people know they're fake, by the way. So don't do it. Okay. Now, the other thing is when somebody leaves you a review, positive review, because that's what we want to review, respond to it. Okay. You're a real person. You're a real business talking to real people. Not only that, you can then leverage those testimonials before you go talk to a new potential client. I know an electrician in Idaho, and this is what he does. Somebody says, hey, we got your name from whoever, or somebody introduces them. Great. They set up an appointment to go stop by their house. Hey, before we stop by, here's a couple of recent testimonials from some clients of ours. And they send them a link to a YouTube video that has 3 or 4 different videos of their customers talking about them. How much more likely are they to close that job? How much more likely? You tell me. Pretty high. Why? Because it's real people talking about them, right? Again, getting it, step 1. Using it, step 2. Number 3, networking. I'm not here to rank networking events, networking groups. I'm here to tell you that if you do it right, it works. Some of you are B&I fans. Some of you are some other networking group fans. Some of you are building associations and subcontractor association groups. Some of you are whatever else is out there, Chamber of Commerce, right? We just go on down the list. It doesn't matter which networking group you're part of. What matters is if that networking group has access to the people that you want to work with. Because if not, you shouldn't be in that group. If you want to do commercial work, you should not be in a B&I. Why? Because people who are doing commercial work are not in B&Is. Just the reality of the situation. Okay. If you want to work with home builders, you shouldn't be hanging out at the Chamber of Commerce because that's not where home builders hang out, right? Go to where your people are at. Networking works if you work it right, period. We have a local home builders association here. In the last month, I've referred 12 people, 12 to the Home Builders Association. Why? Because I know who they want to work with and I know where they are, right? Figure out what you're doing right now to network. If you want to work, and I take this, continue on that down the path. If you want to work with homeowners, you need to be hanging out where homeowners are. Where are they? Well, there's neighborhood events, right? There's sporting events. There's all kinds of different things that homeowners hang out at, or people who have access to homeowners. Talk about realtors all the time. There's a realtor group that I'm partnered with because I have access to a lot of local contractors. And what we do is once a month, we go in and we spend time educating them on some aspect of a contractor or contracting or fixing houses or whatever. Why? Because realtors work with homeowners. A lot of them, whether they're buying or selling or not. And so if you want to become more valuable, that's what you should do. I'll give you a perfect example. This morning, there was a post in one of the groups that I'm a part of. Okay. And this post was for this realtor named Emma Watson. I don't know who she is. Emma Watson. And an insulation company. And I'm going to call them out. Loyalty Insulation LLC. Now they partnered and you're thinking, wait a minute, what does an insulation company have to do with a real estate agent? Well, on the surface, nothing. But if you play your cards right, everything. Okay. So what happened was this insulation company approached Emma and said, hey, we'd love to shout you out. Okay. And we'd also love to create a partnership where we can offer something of value to your clients. So what they posted was for Emma's clients. I took a picture of it here so you guys can see it. It says for Emma's clients, we're offering an exclusive deal, a free, no pressure attic insulation inspection to ensure your home is energy efficient before you buy or sell. Attractive? Absolutely. And then they say, and there's more. Choose to follow our insulation recommendations and we'll take $50 off your service. Boom. Super simple. How does that help Emma? Well, she's adding value to her potential clients that are looking to buy or sell a home. How does that help the installation company? They're getting in front of more people that they want to work with, right? Again, networking. It doesn't have to be traditional. Sit at the back of the room. There's 100 people in the room. Everybody gets 10 seconds to stand up and say their name and their business name. People eat some donuts and coffee and they leave. Doesn't have to be that way. You can be much more intentional about this. Off my soapbox. All right. Social media. Listen, I don't care if you like or hate social media. I don't care if you like or hate Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk. I don't care. But what you need to understand is if the people that you want to work with, which is usually above 90%, if the people you want to work with are on social media, you need to be on social media. If the people you want to work with are on social media, you need to be on social media. Now, there's all kinds of different strategies, and I'm not going to sit here and go down all of them. But I have a good friend of mine, Joseph Hughes, owns a company called Contractor Dynamics. And he has a phrase he calls 5 mile famous. Your strategy needs to make you 5 mile famous. In that, everybody within a 5 mile radius should know who you are and what you do and be willing to refer or call you, right? 96% of people are not ready to buy right away. That doesn't mean they can't know who you are. That doesn't mean they can't know what you do. Your job, again, is to get them to raise their hand when they're ready to buy. A lot of you are roofers. Congratulations. A lot of you work insurance work. Awesome. Guess what? Most people aren't going to want to examine their roofs when there's not a storm. But after a storm, who wants to examine their roof? Everybody. Who are they going to call? Probably the company that they saw doing work, or that they saw advertising their product or service, or that they saw at their neighbor's house, or that they saw so on and so forth. Okay. Social media, leverage social media. You should at least be posting multiple times a week, and don't make it complicated. Show pictures of your work. If you're feeling comfortable in front of a camera, stand in front of the camera and talk about it. Like, why do you think HGTV makes so much money? Because people love to be informed. So inform them. Now, these next three are a little more, we'll call them, or I should say the next two are a little more in depth. If you aren't ready for this, that's okay. I still want you to understand it. Okay. Now, there's something called search engine optimization, SEO, and pay per click, PPC. Okay. This is online. Before I get to those, I want to talk about a third one. There's a roofing company in the Midwest, Oklahoma. And what they do is when they do a roof, there's a company, and I can introduce you to the company that does this, but it's really cool. What they do is they send a flyer a week for 4 weeks to everybody in the neighborhood saying, we just finished your neighbor's house. Look at the before and after. Here's what we can do for you. Here's the special that we have. Once a week for 4 weeks. And that generates an extra 33% of their business. 33% from this one strategy. Postcards. Yes, 2024. Postcards. Right? It works. But they're super hyper targeted. We just did a job in your neighborhood. Here's the house. Here's the before and after. Odds are the people in that neighborhood know the house, right? Might even know the owners. And if they're curious or if they're in need, now they have that connection point. This person's already in our neighborhood, already doing work. If I was thinking about doing it, I probably want to do work with them. Okay. Now, search engine optimization. What is it? I want you to think about it this way. Okay. There's terms that people are searching. Like when you go to Google and you say roofer, or you say insurance company, or you say used car, people are paying for the information or their company's information to be at the top of the terms. Okay. This is where your Google My Business comes into play. The wrong way to do search engine optimization. You go and Google a company that says they do SEO. You completely leave it in their hands to do your SEO. And then you pay them on a monthly basis, hoping and praying that your SEO is working. And that's how most companies do it. And that's why most companies get screwed. Now, there are good companies out there, but understand, a marketing company is a marketing company. They don't know you. They don't know your business. They don't know the people you want to work with. And so their job is simply to market, but they don't know what to market. That's where you come into play. SEO works. I know it works. I've seen it work for me, and I've seen it work for hundreds of other companies when it's done right. Okay. So number one is, where is the SEO taking them? So if you have an old Wix website from 1999 that shows a grainy picture of you standing in front of your truck in front of a house, it's not going to work. Okay. Not going to work. But if you have an updated website that not only educates and informs, but provides value, higher likelihood of that SEO working for you. Now, here's the other cool thing. If you're looking, without getting into too many details, here's another telemarketing number come in. If you're looking for, you're frustrated with SEO and it hasn't been working for you and you want to figure it out, cool. Shoot an email to hello@contractorplus.app, because we can put together a free SEO workshop. Free, FREE SEO workshop for anyone that's interested, to help you figure this thing out so you can start to use it. Okay. So that's a free thing. If you're interested, again, shoot an email to hello@contractorplus.app. We'll get you a free workshop that'll show you how to leverage SEO. Now, pay-per-click. What is pay-per-click? Anybody? Pay-per-click serves a very particular purpose. What do you think it is? So pay-per-click is an advertising model, okay, where advertisers pay publishers when their ad is clicked, okay? So this is where you would create an ad and someone would click on that ad, and then for every time somebody clicks on the ad, you pay the advertising company, whoever that is, Google, whatever, okay? So pay-per-click. Now, I'm curious if any of you guys have used or are currently using pay-per-click. So if you are using pay-per-click, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear for anybody who's using pay-per-click. Now, does pay-per-click work? Yes, pay-per-click works, but it doesn't work if you set it and forget it, if you don't monitor it, if you're not tracking, if you're not looking at what is working and what's not working. It doesn't work for broad targeting, right? You can't just say haul homeowners within a 30-mile radius. It's not going to work for you, okay? Has to be specific. The second one, you need to look at the demographics for who it is you want to work with and what keywords they might be searching for. When a storm rolls through, everybody's going to be Googling leaky roof, roofing companies, right? But do you want anybody as your potential client? No. You probably want a very particular type of person. Some of you guys only work on flat roofs. Some of you guys only want $1 million homes. Some of you guys only work in particular areas. Cool. Make sure that your stuff is up to date. Okay. Now, I didn't want to go super deep into that for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm not an expert in pay-per-click. I'm not going to pretend I am. I'm not an expert in SEO. I'm not going to pretend I am. But there are experts out there. And again, with Contractor Plus, we'll get you all the resources that you need. But what I want you to understand more than anything, at the beginning of this call, what do we talk about? Leads. It's the ability for you to get in front of the right people on a regular basis, okay? If you can't get in front of the right people, you're not going to be able to build a business. It's not going to work that way, right? Here's the other thing, okay? If you aren't following up with your leads, you're not going to be able to build a business. It's not going to happen. All right. Now, before we sign off, I want to bring on Justin because Justin, I would believe, is an expert in SEO. And I want to have him talk about SEO and how that can help your business. So Justin, you want to pop on real quick? All right, Justin.
What's going on, everyone?
SEO, my man. Why do so many people struggle with SEO?
I think there's a lot of ambiguity around what it really means. So, back in the day before local SEO became a thing, it was all about just optimizing the content on a website to rank for a certain keyword. And there's, on-page factors and off-page factors like link building that you can do to optimize your website. But today, especially for a local business, as a contractor, typically you serve one market. All that really matters is your local optimization. And that's a good thing because the amount of effort and the amount of time and the cost that's going to go into optimizing your online presence for a local business is it's a much lower lift. It's not that expensive. It's not that time consuming. In fact, a lot of what actually goes into your local presence, it's all about your citations. So the number of people that are searching for a general contractor or an electrician or a plumber, whatever vertical you're in, and choosing your profile. It's also about the number, the social signals. How many reviews do you have? What are the ratings? And based on that, you're going to be able to improve your overall citations. And the more ratings and reviews you have is the higher you're going to rank. Thankfully, Contractor Plus helps automate a lot of that. So there's a setting that you can enable inside of your account to automatically collect reviews. upon completion of a job or a certain number of days after your client approves or pays an invoice. So what that really does is it eliminates the need for you to manually ask your clients to leave you a review. Now, I'm not saying cut the manual stuff out either. That, the more touch points you have is always going to be the better. If you have some little business cards made, maybe on the back of them, or maybe you make a card specifically for at the end of your client engagement, you hand them a card and say, hey, we really appreciate your reviews. This is how we grow our business. And if you do really good work, encourage them, even give them some tips, take some pictures or a video and maybe talk about what happened and post that. That's all going to do wonders for your business. There's a lot that we could get into about how to optimize your local business profile. I will say this. It's not as hard as you would expect it to be. It will take a little bit of time and it will take a little bit of money to do it right. But the most important part of it is something that you can control just by doing good work and making sure you invite or ask your customers. Make sure your customers, your clients understand the importance of that review to your business. You can do that automatically in your account. You can hand them a card. There's a number of things you can do. I think we could do a deep dive into everything you need to consider with your local presence. So if you are interested, definitely reach out. I would host that myself. Anybody that's interested in improving your online presence to get more leads. The good thing about it is once you rank locally, once you have that local, that you're in the top 3 for your area, that's leads on autopilot. That's leads that you don't have to pay per click for. That's all organic traffic. So the phone is ringing without you having to spend on that call. So, depending on what your conversion rate is, there's another argument to be made that organic leads convert better than paid leads. That's a known fact. So when you spend for a lead, on a pay-per-click basis, because it was an ad, you will notice that paid traffic, those paid leads typically convert at a lower rate than those who organically find your business. So it's really important, I would say, to diversify and do both. You really need a combination of both. Have a strong local presence, local business presence. That means your Google business profile. That means your Yelp profile. That means your Facebook business page. Follow and interact with your clients on social media. Build those relationships. Communicate. The more social activity you have surrounding your brand is the better off you're going to be. And the more, impactful it's going to be when you ask for referrals. But then also supplement, especially early in your business, if you're just getting started, run some paid traffic, run some paid ads. There are agencies who specialize in this, and it can get very expensive. If you don't know how to run paid traffic profitably, there is a lot to it. So adding negative keyword lists, making sure you're only spending on the keywords that are actually converting. You have to monitor that closely. And you have to, a lot of people go wrong because they say, I'm willing to spend $5,000 a month on leads. And then they just go dump $5,000 a month in a smart campaign on Google. And they end up paying like $150 or $200 a call. And they're only closing 1 out of 5 calls. Well, that's not good. No. Depending on your business. So it does require some optimization and some know-how. If you don't know, there's some really good agencies out there that specialize in this for contractors. I can make some introductions to a couple that I know and trust and have worked with in the past. Happy to do that as well.
Well, I think, Justin, you bring up a couple good points. Number one, and Justin talked about this, right? You said diversify. We talked about these different strategies, and you should be using multiple of these strategies. But what you didn't understand, or don't understand, I should say, is how they work together, right? So Justin talks about SEO and how it works together with your Google My Business, right? So there's a way for all these to work together. Now, what we're going to start doing is a much deeper dive into some of these topics, okay? For you as users of Contractor Plus. So we'll have some very specific trainings that come up that have to do with SEO, that have to do with pay-per-click. We'll bring on some experts to kind of answer your questions. But just understand that in order for you to consistently grow your business, you need to consistently generate leads, the right leads. In order to do that, you need to proactively seek them out. Okay, so create a strategy using some of these methods that we talked about here. And again, if you have any specific questions, you can email hello@contractorplus.app. We will get those answered for you. But ultimately, remember, Contractor Plus is the hub, right? It's the hub that allows you to run your business. It allows you to generate reviews, right? What do those reviews generate? They increase your social profile, increase your online presence. What does that do? Generates more leads. What do you do with those leads? You dump them into Contractor Plus, and then you can follow up and then see, and the cycle continues, right?
Let me chime in here for 1 second. So
Yeah.
Getting those leads, and I hear it a lot. We talk to thousands of contractors. I understand what contractors are struggling with, and getting good quality leads is definitely in the top 3. I think that's pretty fair assessment. A lot of these platforms, especially the ones that are kind of shifting into like more booking focused versus lead focused, what we're noticing is there is a trend where those who either the leads are being oversold, so they convert at a very low percentage, or which has you running around wasting your time, and we know time is money, so that's not good for business. Or the leads are a clientele who's looking for the cheapest price, and that's not good for business either. So you have to be careful where you get your leads from, and not all lead sources are created equal. So definitely the top 2 is going to be your local organic rankings, your business rankings and presence, and your pay-per-click that's direct, because those are exclusive leads that are going direct to you. The reason I bring this up is because getting the lead is only half the battle. Once you have it, it's probably a third of the battle. Once you have it, all of your growth is going to come from your follow-up game.
Yeah.
So, and I'll just leave it at that.
We got one more question that I think we could probably answer here. Ryan asks, where does Thumbtack fit in with marketing and Contractor Plus?
Yeah, so Thumbtack has been great for many service categories. I will say Thumbtack, we do a lot of business with Thumbtack. We have a lot of our users that get leads from Thumbtack, and most people appreciate the Thumbtack integration. I will say that we've had some users point out that they noticed the quality of leads started declining a little bit when they switched to bookings, but bookings are optional. So you can choose, what kind of leads you want to get. So I would just say be selective with the leads you get. Thumbtack gives you $100 in free leads. If you're a Contractor Plus user, you've never used Thumbtack before, you can get $100 in free leads for trying it out. There's no obligation to you. So I would say try it out and see if it's going to work for your business. It's not going to be the best lead source for all business types, though. So make sure make sure it's the right fit for you.
Yeah. Great answer. All right. Listen, we could sit here and talk all day long about leads, but what needs to happen is, number 1 is you got to figure out who it is you want to work with. Number 2, you got to figure out where they are. And number 3, you got to start leveraging these strategies specific for that type of audience. I know it works because I've done it. I know it works because I've worked with hundreds of contractors. Justin's the same thing. Building a business is not rocket science. It's about doing the fundamentals well over and over and over again. Okay. Leads is one of those things. Every single day you should be focused on, how am I generating more leads? If you do that the right way, your business will grow and grow and grow until you decide to shut it off.
I want to throw one more. I'm going to plug a friend's business. They're out of Chicago. I normally would, if you're an established business and you've already got a great lead flow going, this doesn't apply to you. But if you're just getting started, it's going to take some time before your SEO before your local presence is where it needs to be, where you're getting enough organic calls and emails every day where you don't need all this other stuff. But if you're just getting started and one of your biggest struggles is getting enough leads that actually convert, there's a company out of Chicago. It's ran by a guy named David, and it's called Lead Gen Intel. LeadGenIntel.com. Website's nothing fancy. But we personally tested their service. And what I really like about it the most, they charge on a per call basis. They charge a setup fee. I think their setup fee is like $500. And then they apply most of that setup fee towards your credits. And then as you get leads, as they send you leads, they actually manually screen those calls. They're all recorded. And if that person didn't request a booking or an estimate, then you're not paying for it because it's not a legitimate call. So cost is, it can be anywhere between like 60, 65 bucks. And depending on your city and your service category, up to a couple $100. An electrician in New York City versus an electrician in Columbus, Ohio, it's going to be a different market. But leadgenintel.com, tell them that Justin from Contractor Plus sent you. He's a great guy. He'll take good care of you.
Beautiful, beautiful. We got Ricardo with a little shout out here at the end. I've been using Contractor Plus, and I could say it's amazing, especially with capturing leads. I drive my social media traffic to my website built by them, and I capture their info instantly.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you, Ricardo. Listen, Contractor Plus and Art, I saw you see your comment there. Yeah. Hey, everything in business is an investment, right? We want you guys to make the right investments. Contractor Plus compared to other CRMs is way more affordable and way more robust. And it was built that way for a reason, right? It was built with you in mind, but you have to take advantage of it. It's got so many tools. By the way, how many of you guys knew that you could have a free website built through Contractor Plus? Free, FREE.
With local optimization in mind.
Ooh,
so one thing Google really looks at is, does your website mirror the same service areas that you claim on your local business profile? If you have mention of those local service areas on your website and it's linked to from your Google business profile, it's going to help you rank higher. And that's an authority signal for those localities. That's one of many strategies that we'll cover in the workshop. Beautiful.
All right. Well, keep your eyes peeled on social and in your inbox. We'll be posting when we're going to have this workshop, help you guys dial in your online presence, dial in your search engine optimization so we can help you continue to grow your business. But for now, you know what time it is. It's time for you guys to get after it. 3, 2, 1.
Later, everyone. After this quick message. We started Contractor Plus to facilitate collaboration in a way that's never before been possible. We're not just giving contractors what they need to optimize their day-to-day. By focusing on the small businesses and the artisans, we are positioning ourselves to create a collaborative marketplace to help contractors increase labor productivity. We have a great team executing and very strong early indications of product market fit. Now is your chance to get involved. Our round is open until May 24th. May 24th, it's closing. Go to WeFunder, check out Contractor Plus. If you have any questions, let us know. We'd love to meet you.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of Mindset Mondays. Thank you for joining us and being a part of this incredible journey to not just be great at what you do, but to live a great life too. Remember, every tool, tip, and story shared here is a step towards building your dream, both on and off the job site.